Hi, everyone. Andrea Donnelly here, the Oracle of Enchantment, crystal clear channel of many beautiful vibrations. The big ones that are coming through today are the frequency of paradise and the cosmic grandmother and the Galactic Federation, which are some of my favorite and most potent energies that I channel. For those of you who are in the Wealthy Weirdo, my Facebook group, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so fun. If you're joining me live, go ahead and just let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you are new to my work and you are just discovering me, I am a master manifester, crystal clear channel, as I mentioned, from the time I was a baby. I've channeled light language. Hi, Carol. It's so nice to see you. I'm a spiritual guide, an advisor, a business, and a life coach. I do all kinds of different things to really ultimately help you, a visionary, a leader of light, and a person of beauty and truth, right? If you found your way into my world. Christina, hi. Oh, this is so fun. I used to do getting a little bit off course, but I used to do a weekly channeled live, and then I ended up transitioning to doing them once a month. But I was shown to do them every week this month, in particular, December of 2023, and it's just so much fun to do them every week. I may continue with it in the new year. I don't know, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. And it's so nice to see you guys. If you found your way here, right, you are one of these people of whom I speak, a person of extraordinary vision, a light worker, a change maker, someone who really incarnated. If you found your way into my world, then you are someone who was born to really mix it up. I kept hearing the words wake up, shake up as I was like tuning into what the energy of this week is, what the energy of this month is about, right? Last week I did a really fun channeled forecast. I talked about where I see this month headed, what I'm really seeing for this year, and what the guides want me to really focus and dial in on now is the ways that each of us, this is a really good week to sit and reflect on how powerfully you have shifted yourself over the course of this year. Right before this, I was on a call with one of my beloved private clients, and we were taking time to really reflect on what unfolded for them over the course of this year, and how even though this year unfolded in a way that was different than how they imagined, which I think is probably true for many of us, right? I talked last week about how this year was really evocative. I read the Charles Dickens quote, that idea of like it was the best of times and the worst of times. And if you are here with me and that resonates with you, right, go ahead and let me know. Which is not, I'm not trying to, focus on the negative, but I think this year, when I tune into how this year played out for so many people, this year really threw most people for a little bit of a loop, right? Not that you didn't make it because you're here with me now, but that this year really presented all of us with opportunities to go deeper into our personal journey of reclamation, of remembering our own power, of remembering our own truth, and really disconnecting from places, people, experiences, patterns that no longer resonate with who we are and where we're going. And in many ways, that is a constant stone cold truth about the human experience. But this year in particular was very much a big cosmic wake up call. Like I literally, when I tap into what this year was like, I see this very funny image of a person, and this is indicative of every one of us alive, getting a like I see this image of one of those old school rotary phones, right? With the spiral cord and the little ring through which you input the buttons and call the person. I see the cosmos, right? However we want to, God, creation, our team of epic guidance that we all have. We have ancestors, galactic family, elementals, beings from all different kinds of beautiful realms of creation that are beyond anything that we can necessarily see with our human eyes. They're always with us. And this was a year in which they all sat down and they called each of us and they said, hey, listen, you're doing a really good job towards whatever it is you came here to do, but time is ticking. And it is time to really meet yourself in this place of incredible awareness about who you are and really cut through the stuff that you have been dragging along with you that is not yours. That's what this year was about. That image of the phone, right? This like idea of like a cosmic call. God has each of us on speed dial is the energy of this year to be like, you're doing super good in a lot of ways. And here are the areas of your life. Maybe it was personal, maybe it was professional, but we all were called forward this year. Those of us who have big missions to really deep clean our scene, our energetic capacity, so that as we enter next year, we as light workers, as way showers, as guardians of sacred cosmic truths, that we would be quote unquote ready for what is coming in the new year. And when I tap into the energy of 2024, I am just shown over and over again, and I can see it and I can feel it. And I am not saying I understand exactly what this means from like a literal, I'm not going to get into like what I think this might end up looking like. But when I tap into the energy of this year, what I am seeing for 2024 is that this is going to be a year like 2020, where there was an unstoppable, right, level of massive global awakening. And in some ways, we've been moving through that frequency for the past few years, but there was something very different about the level of urgency that unfolded during 2020. And that is the enormity of which that's what I tap into, is that we're heading into another year where it's like this idea of looking around at all of the systems that exist on this planet and realizing that they do not move with and for us. They are not stewarding us. So you, as someone who is here in this world, who's listening to me, you are someone who has an antidote. You have answers. You have, we'll call them math equations, frequencies. You have an extraordinary way. You, as someone who is here with me, you have a very unique, very singular way that you have created, envisioned, that you move through the world, that is an antidote to those anti-stewardship systems. And so then the question becomes, how will you continue to rise to meet yourself as we move into next year, right? If next year is going to be as big a year as 2020 was in terms of awakening, a need for people like us, me, to steward people, to guide people, to help you remember that your spiritual gifts are your greatest currency. And you, if you are listening to this, you are someone, again, who also holds sacred wisdom, sacred keys to be able to help the collective through what we are moving into as we embark in 2024. And so if this year felt heavy-handed, like I noticed, Carol, you called it a roller coaster, right? It was that real roller coaster energy. And so the call to action for each of us, what I'm really seeing is that the things that we have been putting off, whether they're exciting or fun or things that really like light us up, whatever it is, that there are ways that I'm being shown that we all have things, right, that we kind of are like, oh, I'm going to save that one for a rainy day, like someday I'll go and do X, Y, and Z. And what I'm being shown as part of that energy of like wake up, shake up, right? I keep hearing those words, that it's like the time is now. There's no more time to wait. There's no more time. It's not that we don't have all the time in the world, right? We will live many years beyond this one, undoubtedly. And even if we move into spirit, our spirit never dies. We continue to exist. It's not about that sort of way of relating time where there's like a stressor element to it, but it's more a call to action to say, if I have nothing beyond today, what am I going to do? How am I going to live? How am I going to love myself? And that is, right? I mean, in essence, that's really when I think about, I love that old Ram Dass book, Be Here Now, right? That idea of being here now, and why I talk so much about time and why time has felt really different this year, likely, right? I'm hearing people talking about it a lot, and I've been talking about it for years. But as we move through these global shifts into the Great Awakening, we move into this energy of a sense of timelessness where what we have is the present moment. And I know that I've heard, a lot of people say that it has felt sort of like everything is melding into one moment, right? The past, the present, the future. If time is really circular and there is nothing but this now moment, then the transition point into that way of living is really what each of us is holding space for humanity to be able to like remember these sacred truths about ourselves. So that's the big one. The big takeaway from this live is to really lean into places where you have maybe been putting things off for a future moment, and really leaning into, what if this is the moment that I have? How will I execute? How will I operate? How will I move? How will I call myself forward so that I am as poised and ready to help my community, to hold the vision, to really be my own most powerful guide and advisor, and have that be the point from which I move, is reclaiming my inner authority, remembering that my words, my knowing is greater than any wisdom, quote unquote, that could come from an external source. So really finding ways at this point to cultivate your own capacity to lead, moving into the world of hiring support if you are someone who has the capacity to, hire people to support you. This is a really powerful time to start to find ways to be able to leverage outside assistance so that you are also operating in a way that really moves within for you. So that one especially was a point, right, for entrepreneurs, like really dialing in as we go through this next year and realizing that, yes, you want to have a really clear strategy, but moving from a point of spiritual awareness is going to be a massive ticket to the capacity to succeed as we move forward. Really leveraging, the other big point for today was to really start to leverage, again, the things about you that are really different. Last week on a call with or in a conversation rather with my group Cosmic Alchemy Academy, we were talking about the energy that each of us came into this life with, right? The gifts that we've carried through all of our previous lives, the dreams that we held as children. I think really dialing back in on that. What is it that your heart yearned for? What are those poetic things that you dreamed of being able to share with yourself, that you dreamed of being able to do with the world? Maybe as a kid, you dreamed of being an artist. As a kid, I've shared this before, I dreamed of being a philanthropist and an artist and a healer. Those were like the three big things that I wanted to do as a kid. And here I am making sacred art. I believe that I am I paint, I draw, I do beading, I do all kinds of like, if you're in Make It Rain, I love to like make crystal grids and things like that, to really express to express divinity through my acts of creation. I believe that this work that I do is as much a work of art as it is anything, sacred art. And so really, really leaning into that. Like I am in fact living my childhood dream of really helping people, of creating impact, of creating freedom, of restoring the vibration of beauty, of love, of cosmic justice to the land, to the animals, to the people, to the communities. Like that was what I felt so called to do from the time I was born. And here I am now living that truth, right? And this is just the beginning. I feel like this movement that I'm creating is bigger than anything I can imagine. I can't wait to be here with all of you next year, the end of 2024, reflecting back on what it is that I've created and what you've created. So also, if you are listening, if you want to like share anything in the comments about what you have accomplished this year, the things you're super freaking proud of yourself for having accomplished, go ahead and drop them in, because that energy of celebration is so beautiful. It reminds me of that energy of like generosity, right? Of just like pure, unadulterated love, celebration, excitement. So go ahead, and if you are here with me, like I said, share in the comments if there are things that you're particularly proud of for yourself that you have lived through this year. Um, and and hopefully this is all landing and making sense. And what I realized as I actually walked through a really beautiful, I went in and I listened to an activation of my own that I had walked a group of mine through yesterday, which was a highest timeline activation. And as I walked through it, I was shown, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the call, that there were some particular energies that are going to really help people moving into 2024. So the frequency of paradise that I channel, the reconnection to the Galactic Federation, right? Connecting to our cosmic roots. And so my invitation to you at this point is, if you are here with me, if you're not already in my world and you would like support in helping to understand how to use these frequencies to really anchor into something beautiful for you, if you are an entrepreneur, to really amplify the results that your clients experience and receive. I have witnessed so many miracles unfold in the course of helping people around the world these past couple of years. And if there is a way that I can support you, whether it is through one of my highest timeline activations, which I've decided to extend through the private sessions, you can book one through year's end. I'm going to be doing a group. That's going to be really fun, a group activation, which is going to be on the 28th and the 29th of this month. The first day, the 28th, will be a group activation of your highest timeline. So it will attune everyone to that frequency. And then on the 29th, we'll have an integration and a Q&A, and that is going to be super fun. That's only $88 for both calls. It'll be recorded, whether you can join us live. So I really encourage you, if you have been feeling like someday I want to work with that Andrea Donnelly, I encourage you to, to find a way to make that happen now, right? If what I'm feeling is true, which is that next year is going to be another wild year, that anchoring into as much support as you are able is going to really help you to succeed in everything, right? This is the cool part, in my opinion, about my modality, is that it helps people in all realms of their life. I watch people unfold massive shifts in their personal lives and their professional lives. That is, to me, the power of this sacred reclamation. This is why we do the spiritual work, right? There are all kinds of different reasons to do the spiritual work, but at the end of the day, the big reason, in my opinion, is because it makes your own life so much more joyful, so much easier. I've witnessed over and over again that the more that people lean in and activate their spiritual gifts, they make more money, they experience more physical pleasure, more joy, having better sex, like literally calling in. I've just witnessed so many people create so many miracles in their lives as a result of this modality. And so the other big invitation I have is to enroll in my light language certification, which kicks off in February. It is an early bird pricing, which is going to be available through the end of this year, but it's just really time. I mean, if you have been feeling like you wanted to learn how to be an energy, maybe you want to learn how to do energy work. Maybe you've been feeling like you want to activate your sacred channel so that you are able to really not just channel the wisdom that you were born to channel, but also activate your language of light. Learn how to use light codes in concert with energy work to really target and help your clients and your community and your own family, your own self to get incredible results. The miracles that I have witnessed unfold as people have leveraged my modality is just frankly surreal and beautiful and unstoppably exciting for me. And one of my big calls to action is that I now share this gift, that I attune people around the world to these frequencies, teach you how to use energy work in the way that I do in concert with your language of light and light codes, so that you are able to integrate them into your own, whatever it is that you do. If you have a healing modality, if you're an entrepreneur, a creative, I mean, literally the application for energy work and light codes and light language are endless as far as I'm concerned. And if you are someone who has been feeling like this is something that you want to integrate more deeply into your life, I believe that my modality is just like truly one of the most powerful and potent forms of medicine, transformation, restoration that exists on earth. 3 years ago, I was actively disabled by nerve pain, and I used my modality not just to heal my physical body, my bank account, and my life, but to help people around the world. So the amount of evidence that I have seen at this point, the reports that I have witnessed people completely transform their life in so many different ways. I know that what the guides are showing me, which is that my modality really does, it is time for many people to learn how to use it to help to rewave wealth consciousness, cosmic justice, restoration, stewardship, love, and possibility on this planet. So reach out to me if you have questions about the certification program. All of the links to be able to sign up for everything will be in the comments, and I will be back next week with another little bit of insight. And I love you so much, and I will talk to you soon.